what it is, man. Welcome to Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Let's get it in, man. Uh, yeah, boom shakalaka. I don't know who used to say that, but let me go ahead and take one from Stuart Scott. Booyah! Yo, man, I don't know why so many fans are on denial about what's going on in boxing. So many fans are biased. They look at, the fighters that they don't support, and they make up these narratives in their head, like, oh, it's probably because of this, and it's probably because of that. They're always assuming things in the favor of the fighters they support instead of just looking at the facts. I was talking about um, Errol Spence earlier and Bud Crawford, and I noticed how all Spence fans do is talk about the accident and the eye surgery, and Spence just wasn't himself. Anything to avoid giving Bud Crawford his credit. How do you spend 3 years saying that Crawford was gonna, get beat up? 3 years telling us how Spence was gonna stop him. Spence was too big. Crawford wasn't gonna be able to handle the pressure, only to pivot into excuses. Oh, the car accident. Oh, the eye surgery. Oh, Spence just wasn't the same anymore. It's like, to be honest, man, that's pathetic, man. To go from being so confident about what Errol was gonna do to switching into the excuse mode where now everybody, not everybody, but now so many fans just want to have excuses for why Spence lost. And it's like, damn, man, y'all gonna do or say anything just to avoid giving Terrence Crawford his credit, for real? So I find that to be crazy, but that's how that's how fans are. You know, when it's time to hate on a fighter, you're gonna discredit him. You're gonna discredit all his wins. You're gonna find a way to say, "Oh no, that doesn't count because of this or because of that." But the bottom line is that Terrence Crawford proved to the world that he is the better fighter when compared to Errol Spence. Gave him the beating of his lifetime, the worst beating that we've seen in over the last 30 years. But somehow people find a way to hate on that man. People find a way to take away from such a historic win. What a way to become undisputed by taking out the big fish in such a brutal fashion that his fans was only left with excuses. That's it. Errol Spence fans got all the excuses in the world. They got more excuses than Errol Spence himself. Oh no, he just wasn't feeling himself. He wasn't feeling like himself. He wasn't acting like himself. Man, how do we even determine all that stuff by watching TV? How? You know, and I want to point something out, my peoples. Listen, to me, the car accident has been milked to like the fullest extent. Cause I'm thinking to myself, uh, Santi Tosseroni, I appreciate you, my guy. You know, I keep telling people like, that car accident was how many years ago? 3, 4 years ago, or 3, 4 years before him and Bud fought each other. And people trying to tell me, nah, because the car accident, it's still. And I want you to look for it for yourself, my peoples. Errol Spence did not break a single bone in his body. That's the type of car accident that looks horrific, but it looks a lot worse than what it actually was. Because when you see a car flip and someone get ejected from the car, usually there are some horrible injuries. dismemberments, people losing limbs and people dying when it's an accident like that. But yo, Errol Spence didn't break a single bone in his body. He didn't have neurological damage. He didn't have uh, muscle tissue damage. He didn't have anything that was serious that was gonna carry over for years. Like Errol Spence's worst injury was literally missing teeth. He lost some teeth. That's it. There's nothing there that you can use to say, oh well, because of that accident, he couldn't do the same with Terrence Crawford. No, 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 no. He didn't have anything in that accident, any injury that was gonna carry over for that many years. By the way, my peoples, y'all already know what it is, man. Box Center. Yo, if you enjoy boxing and you enjoy a real honest take, go ahead and subscribe, my people. I got you. Maybe this is the first time you seen Box Center. Maybe this is the first time you seen JSmiff. But I promise you, my peoples, I am him. Um, yo, the car accident must have been like, if I'm not mistaken, in 2000 and like around 2020 around there. I'm not sure if it was 220, but I know that it was years before Errol Spence fought Terrence Crawford. Years. Like after that accident, he fought multiple people. He fought Danny Garcia. He fought Ugas. He stopped Ugas. So the accident was gone, but the accident came back when Errol got beat up by Bud. What can I say, man? What can I say? Who is the the Antichrist? Oh man, people be wilding at this time, I guess. Oh my God. Listen, I'm not even gonna play into all that stuff. But again, my peoples, again, fans need to stop using the excuse that Errol Spence lost to Crawford because of an accident that happened years before. An accident where Errol Spence did not even break a pinky, not even a pinky, a single bone wasn't broken. Earlier today, somebody told me, "Well, look at the accident, look at the car. He must have had more damage." So again, is what I tell you. People want to assume that he had damage because that's how you take the credit away from Crawford. Instead of looking at the incident report, instead of looking, what's out there, the facts, the injuries that Errol Spence sustained during that accident, yo, none of them were life threatening. None of them were caused long term damage. He really did not get hurt like that. That's the real deal. But ah, there go my boy NYC Alex, Mr. Oh, Errol Spence. He must have had damage in his head because, hey, look at the video, the car accident. It was crazy. And then we look at the report. Errol didn't suffer a single broken bone in his body, no neurological damage, or nothing that will carry over for years. But fans make that stuff up in their head so that you can discredit Terrence Crawford. The biggest win in the last 30 plus years, the most brutal win in the last 30 plus years. And my boy NYC, my boy NYC Alex lasted 3 years telling us how Spence was gonna knock Crawford out. 3 years telling us how Crawford was too little, he wasn't gonna handle the attack to the body. 3 years of telling us this. And now you're gonna pivot into the excuses. Come on, bro, that's pathetic. You went from Spence gonna knock him out to no, what happened is the accident and the eye surgery and what happened was. Come on, man, stop playing like that. Yeah, yo, Errol Spence fans have been the worst fans when it comes to taking an L. Y'all don't know how to take an L. Y'all don't know how to say, yo, Crawford was the better man. He got it. You know, y'all went quick into the excuses. He look at that. He did physical therapy, and he lost lots of value and stock, bro. Like again, opinion stuff. Lost value. How do you lose value and stock when he made the most money he ever made versus Bud Crawford? He didn't lose no value. He didn't lose no stock. You made that up in your head, my guy. He made the most money ever after that accident. He made more money with Danny Garcia, then he made more money with Ugas, and then he made more money with Terrence Crawford. How do you lose stock but making more money? You don't make no sense, my guy. How, how do you lose value when you make more money? Oh, were you not aware that Errol Spence's biggest career payday was versus Bud Crawford in his very last fight? So how exactly did you lose stock and value when you are making more money? Bro, you don't make sense. When you try to hate, all you do is say nonsense and you don't even realize it. He lost value, he lost value, but made his biggest payday? Who loses value and makes their biggest payday? That don't even make no sense, bro. Come on. He was literally never the same, bro. Everybody knew his car accident had no chance to win. Yo, you sound like a sore loser. Y'all literally lasted 3 years telling us that he was gonna knock Crawford out. The accident came back after Crawford beat him up. Yo, the funny thing about the internet is that it keeps receipts. Right now, you're saying everybody knew he was gonna lose. Everybody knew he was gonna lose. But if we go back, that's not what y'all was posting. Y'all was posting that he was gonna knock out Crawford. Y'all was posting that Crawford is too little for him. Uh, After he lost, y'all became sore losers. Now all of a sudden, everybody knew he was gonna lose. Everybody knew he was no good from an accident where he didn't break a single bone in his body or have any serious injury. Come on, man. You gotta stop making stuff up to feed the narrative. If you wanna feed the narrative, at least feed it with the truth. If you're a real boxing fan, feed the narrative with the truth. Not with the things that you make up in your head, not with the fake stories that PBC fans spread. Feed the narrative with the truth. Don't make stuff up. When you say that he lost stock and lost value, that's like a lie you made up right now. Like you made that up right now. How a guy is making career paydays and you talking about he losing value. So, in order to feed your narrative, you will make shit up. You will invent things from the top of your head and just say them like they're facts. When you say, oh, everybody knew the car accident and everybody knew. When you say everybody knew, my guy, in reality, you're talking about PBC fans who didn't know how to handle that loss. That's the everybody you're talking about because nobody else besides the PBC fan base is talking about that accident. Nobody. So it's not that everybody knew, it's that you and the rest of the hurt feelings PBC fans want to cling on to that accident so badly because it did not play out the way you wanted it. It just didn't, my guy. Y'all been clinging on to that accident. No, no, it's the accident, it's the accident. You even try to tell me that he had damage in his head, man. Like, y'all really be making up stuff. No damage in his head at all. My boy didn't even have a single stitch in his head. You see, that's that. Let me tell you something. That's the difference between how you look at boxing when you never boxed in your life and how you look at boxing when you've been in the ring and you competed. When you never boxed in your life, it just looks easy. Oh, it was easy. It was easy. But when you box, you understand that Arrow was actually doing real good in the first round. He was doing real good in the second round. Arrow was doing good. He was being aggressive until he got dropped. Once he got dropped, it started going downhill from there. So what boxing fans who never boxed a day in their life don't understand is that yo, you could get hurt and not be the same because you got hurt. That shit don't got nothing to do with the car accident. That was them Terrence Crawford left and right hooks that had him looking goofy. That's what happened. Now, if you don't understand that, that's easy. Go back and watch the first AJ and Ruiz fight. Go watch that fight and see. The moment Andy landed that crushing right hand on AJ's head and dropped him, AJ wasn't the same either. AJ was looking goofy as hell in that ring. Footwork looking all goofy. Why? Because, yo, Andy messed up his whole equilibrium with that punch to the head. So that's the same thing. It wasn't no car accident. It wasn't no car accident. It was them Terrence Crawford's bombs to the head that had Arrow looking different. But you can't give credit to the master. You can't give credit to the pound for pound kid. All you got is excuses. Excuses are lame and pathetic, my people. Every time a fighter lose and their fans come with excuses, that shit is pathetic, bro. That shit is embarrassing. Like honestly, I'll be embarrassed for y'all. When y'all start talking, it was the accident. It was the accident. That shit is embarrassing, my people. For real. Like I'm being real with y'all. Look at that, bro. The car accident. The car accident definitely took years away. Like, how do you even come up with this conclusion, man? Like, you see, that's what I'm telling you. Boxing fans want to be doctors. You know, he got hurt. You become a doctor, and you tell us what the accident meant. Although the incident report don't agree with you, the incident report don't say none of that shit that you saying, but you somehow become a doctor and you decide what it is. If they negotiating and it don't work out, you become a promoter and you tell us why the fight didn't work out because now you become a promoter. So boxing fans will become a promoter, a trainer, a doctor. You become anything to feed your narrative. You anything except a boxing fan. Watching a fight and see your man's get beat up. Then you want to become a doctor and tell us how he feeling after the accident, how he feeling, come on, dog. Y'all gotta stop the cap, my peoples. You know, Errol Spence got beat up by Terrence Bud Crawford because Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. That's why. As simple as that. No car accident that didn't break a single bone in your body is gonna drag for 4 years to affect you down the line. That's just not even realistic. That's just something y'all made up in your head because you can't handle that he got beat up like that. None of you was talking about the car accident before the fight. Y'all started talking about the car accident the moment Errol got knocked the fuck out. The accident came right back. And y'all turned into doctors. All of y'all. My peoples, y'all seen what's going on with Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis? Um, Yo, go ahead and subscribe, man. If you haven't subscribed to Box Center, subscribe. We're coming with that real boxing content. No bias like Errol Spence fans. No making up stuff like Errol Spence fans. You know, I don't make up stuff in my head and assume what I want to assume like Errol Spence fans be doing in the comment section. I'll tell y'all the facts. And facts cannot be disputed. That's why when I tell people something and they try to correct me, I'm like, yo, you can Google it. It's right there. Internet keeps receipts. And those receipts can be found at any time. But my boy said it's a miracle. I mean, I don't know where you see the miracle when you don't have a single broken bone in your body or a single serious injury. you usually get back in the ring or get back to work. So I don't know what miracle you're talking about. That's the miracle you want to see. You see miracles too. Look at that. You already been a doctor, an advisor. Now you're a spiritual healer too. Maybe I don't know what you want to be. But check it, my peoples. The fight with Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Um, I thought we was gonna get it at the end of this year when Lomachenko pulled out of the fight with Tank. And I was real disappointed, man, that Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson are not going to be fighting this year. The one thing I will say, Tank's team stated that they were going to send Shakur a contract. While that was going on, that they were supposed to send Shakur a contract, Coach Kenny specifically said that he didn't want them to fight Shakur, that he preferred to fight Pitbull, a rematch with Pitbull. Well, guess what? Pitbull lost. So obviously that rematch can't happen. Right now, is Tank Davis going to fight Rayo Valenzuela? Because I want you to consider this. Tank refused to fight Devin in the 140 division. They made that clear. If Devin wanted to fight, he had to go back down to 135. So wouldn't it be funny if now Tank fights Rayo Valenzuela at 140 for his title? Because, you know, it doesn't make sense that he didn't want to fight Devin Haney at 140, but he may be willing to fight Rayo Valenzuela at that same division. If he does, it's not going to be a good look. Because you already said, oh no, I'm not going to 140. So if you go to 140, you went to 140 for Mario Barrios to take that secondary title from him. And now you may go to 140 to fight Rayo Valenzuela, but you didn't want to go to that division to fight Devin Haney. Or to fight Ryan Garcia, who had to fight you at a catchweight. So we want to see how this is going to play out. Um, you know, Shakur versus Cordina is not the fight that I wanted. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people wanted this fight, but it's the fight that we're getting because a lot of people not willing to step up versus Shakur. A lot of people don't want that action. A lot of people, you know, we seen Pitbull turn down a fight with Shakur. Lomachenko turned down a fight with Shakur. Devin Haney literally left the entire division and lost his undisputed status to avoid fighting Shakur. So, you know, on Twitter, everybody's down on fighting Shakur. On Twitter, everybody knocking Shakur out. But in real life, ain't nobody sending no contracts. Ain't nobody making no moves to fight him. So what he has to do, if he want to stay active, he gotta look for somebody that's willing to fight him. That's the way it goes down. And I guarantee you, all of these guys will want not just a career payday, but a crazy amount of money to fight Shakur. And I think that tells you, you know, they understand you're about to take your first loss. You want to get paid big time to get your ass whooped. Simple as that. Yo, anytime a fighter's asking for a career payday, the most money they ever made, is because they know the type of danger they're about to face. Same thing with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. People keep saying, oh, that's going to be easy money. Oh, Canelo's just going to knock him out. It's going to be easy. Okay, if it's going to be so easy, why do you think Canelo asking for $150 million to fight Bud? $150 million to fight Crawford. Yo, Canelo's never made $100 million for a fight in his life. And he's asking for 150 to fight Terence Crawford. What that tell you right there? That tell you he know what Terence Crawford brings to the table. If it was an easy fight, he would have said, give me 10 million. And I handle that real quick. No easy fight, my peoples. That's the toughest fight of his career, and that's why he wants the biggest payday of his career. Because while y'all will not give credit to Terence Crawford, no matter what he does, Canelo Alvarez, by saying I want $150 million, right there he's telling you what Terrence Crawford means. So even if you're on denial, even if you can't accept it, asking for a career payday to fight him tells you what you need to know. There's weight classes for a reason. There's weight classes for a reason. It's a term that you use if we're comparing Inoue to a heavyweight. Because Inoue is too small and a heavyweight is too big for him. Terrence Crawford is a little bit taller than Canelo. He has longer reach than Canelo, and he walk around in the 160s. If you actually understood that, you will see that Canelo Alvarez is not even that much bigger than Crawford. If you see them standing side by side, Crawford might even look a little bit bigger. But that's stuff that you don't understand. You just watch TV, you see the number 168, 154. Oh my God, he's so much bigger. Man, Canelo's a small 168 pounder. Canelo is smaller than everybody he faced in the 168 division. Canelo is not a big guy. If Canelo and Crawford fight each other, when it's time for them to face off, y'all gonna be disappointed when Crawford looking bigger than Canelo. Y'all, when you say, oh, this weight class is for a reason, man, y'all be talking like Canelo's a huge guy. Canelo little as fuck, big. Little as fuck. Canelo little. Small. Come on now. Most Mexican fighters are not big. Canelo is not big. Y'all gotta stop that, man. Y'all really gotta stop that. Yo, Samuel Diaz, I appreciate you, my guy. And y'all already know what it is. Fluffy Campos was good, my guy. Y'all already know what it is. Nah, never cap. Never cap. All you have to do is look at the logic, my peoples. Look at Canelo Alvarez, look at his height, and look at his reach. But it's a little bit taller and has more reach. And Crawford literally walks around in the 160s and 170s where he's not fighting. Like, yo, Crawford is not a little dude. And Canelo is not a big dude. Look at all of Canelo fights at 168. All of his opponents have been bigger than him, yo. Canelo a small dude, my guy. Canelo started his career at 154 and moved up to 168. Why people acting like Canelo is this giant and Crawford is this little dude? That's not the case, yo. If you see them standing next to each other, they look about the same size. They look about the same size when they next to each other. But people gonna act like, oh, Canelo's huge. This dude 5'7". This dude like 5'7" in his platform shoes. What is y'all talking about? What is y'all talking about huge? Come on now. Y'all just gotta see it, man. Y'all just gotta see it. Y'all just gotta see it. Um, Damn, I don't know, man. But for whatever reason, in the comment section, like I don't know if it's just a bunch of junkies when they're high on whatever drugs they be on, they just go on YouTube and get on the comment section. Cause you got drugs in your mind. Like people in the comment section really think a lot about drugs. Like I don't know if you know if it's you got a crackhead auntie or a crackhead uncle or you live in a drug infested neighborhood, so all you really thinking about is drugs. Ain't nobody thinking about drugs over here, man. Y'all gotta get all them drugs out your minds, B. Y'all gotta clean your minds, my people. Go look at my video, man. I ran 10 miles this morning. You and your whole family combined will never run 10 miles in your lives. You can't run 10 kilometers. I ran 10 miles this morning. And y'all over here talking about drugs, man. Come on now. Please. Let's I understand you think about drugs a lot. Maybe your family members, maybe yourself. Everybody ain't thinking about drugs, man. We talking boxing. Go do your drugs and talk about your drugs with your junkie friends. But check it, my peoples. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said before, Box Center is about facts. Not about fanboy stuff where we start assuming things and we start making up stuff in our heads about this should happen like this and it should happen like that. Look, man, if you don't know shit about boxing, that's real obvious to me. I can tell right away. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for jumping in. Appreciate you, my guy. Um, with faith in Christ. That's a bit of a long name. My bad if I got it wrong. A man with the faith in Christ. Appreciate you jumping in, man. Just talking boxing, talking about the situation with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and how people went from saying Errol was gonna knock him out to excuse mode. All of the excuses in the world after Crawford did what he did. Errol Spence fans, they turned themselves into the worst sore losers in sports history. Like, that's a real sore loser right there when all you got is excuses. And now they're saying, oh, everybody knew that was going to happen. Everybody knew he was going to lose. We spent 3 years watching these people say how Errol was going to knock Bud Crawford out. 3 years of telling us how Crawford is too little and how he wasn't gonna be able to handle the body attack. 3 years to all of a sudden now decide that, oh no, we got excuses for Errol. Yo, Errol Spence fans got more excuses than Errol himself. My boy NYC Alex got more excuses than Errol Spence himself. Come on, man. That's like some real pathetic sore loser shit, my people. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. It is excuse mode, my guy. You literally told me that the car accident dragged on for this many years when he had no serious injuries. You even tried to tell me that he has serious injuries, and I'm telling you, go look at the incident report. His worst injury was lost teeth. You don't lose teeth in an accident and be hurt 3 years down the line. That's crazy. That's just not realistic at all. Me and my father had Crawford. My cousin had Errol. They was pissed. You see what I'm saying? Yo, Errol fans was pissed and just making up excuses. My boy said he was in the ICU for like 2 weeks. Oh my God, you know you're making that stuff up when you say for like 2 weeks. You see how you don't speak facts? You can't even say anything that's actually fact. For like 2 weeks. For like 2 weeks is translation for like you're making that shit up right now. That's what that really means. Go look at the actual facts and actually say that. Oh, he was in the ICU for like 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, man. It's a miracle he's even back in the ring. Yep. Without a single broken bone in your body, everybody would have been back in the ring. Anybody would have been back in the ring. But yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Terrence Crawford beat the crap out of Errol Spence, and all y'all could do was have excuses. You can't give the man his credit. You can't say, wow, what a performance. Terrence Crawford, shocked me. We wasn't expecting that. Nope. Y'all can't do that. Y'all got excuses. Y'all falling back on excuses. What more pathetic than falling back on excuses and not accepting that the better man won? That's pathetic. Pathetic. Listen, Samuel Diaz, I understand that you're not feeling the shades. I understand that. But this is what you need to understand. This is Box Center, my YouTube channel, my show. If you don't like the shades, I'm not begging for you to come in to watch, my boy. If you don't like the shades, get your goofy ass out of here. Go watch somebody else. Go do drugs or whatever the hell you doing. I'm, I'm here to talk boxing, not to model for you. All right? So if you come into this channel talking about take off your shades or I don't know what other order you want to give me, get your goofy ass somewhere else. I don't got time for you. The fuck out of here. What you think this is? Take off your shades. Like, yo, man, people be too corny. People be way too corny. I don't know if you here to look at men or you know, drew over men's faces. We talking boxing over here. The fuck out of here with that shit. Let me see your eyes. What's going on out here, my peoples? What's really going on? So check it, man. The situation. Yeah. I'm gonna ignore him. You know, there's always goofy people who jump in alive, trying to give people orders, trying to tell people what to do. He corny as fuck for that. Um, Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, right? We know that fight could have happened because remember when Lomachenko pulled out of the negotiations with Tank Davis, Shakur immediately said, "Yo, I'm up for it. Let's make it happen." They never sent a contract. They never sent Shakur a contract. The fight didn't get made. Now we got Shakur fighting Cordina, which I don't think anybody wanted to see that, but Cordina was the only person willing to step up. Cordina was the only fighter who was willing to sign that contract. Then everybody else, everybody else knocking Shakur out on Twitter. On Twitter, everybody's knocking him out. But in real life, nobody's sending contracts. Nobody's saying, let's make the fight. So what's going on? What's going on in real life? Shakur ain't ready for Tank. He needs more fights. Now, I find that interesting, and I'm going to tell you why. Shakur is a three-division champion. Shakur is a two-division unified champion. Shakur is undefeated. In fact, Shakur beat more reigning champions than Tank Davis. Shakur beat two reigning champions. Let's get the facts straight, right? Shakur beat two reigning champions in Oscar Valdez and Jamel Herring. Those are reigning champions when Shakur beat them. Tank Davis' only reigning champion was Pedraza at 130. In the 135 division, Tank Davis beat washed up Gamboa for a secondary title. In the 140 division, Tank beat Mario Barrios for another secondary title. So Tank has one reigning champion with a legit title under his belt right now. And Shakur has two. So how Shakur beat more champions, won titles in more divisions, unified more titles, but he needs more fights to fight Tank. He needs more experience. I don't understand how that works. You see? They be bamboozling y'all with them fake titles, with them secondary titles, with the Mickey Mouse belts. Okay, so so Shakur did not beat more reigning champions. That's what you're saying. Gavin Reese? What? What? Bro, like what are you talking about, bro? Mario Barrios held a secondary title. Mario Barrios held a secondary title. Only PBC fans believe that title is real. That title doesn't even exist anymore. They don't even have a secondary title anymore in that division. Ti- how, how they fool you into believing that a secondary title is even real? I guess this is what I need to remind you. You see, that's why I talk with facts, my people. I let you believe the fake stuff, and then I give you the facts to bring you down to earth. I'm going to remind y'all that Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion at the same time Tank Davis beat Mario Barrios for that secondary fake title. Now, y'all explain that to me. If you think Tank had a real title at 140, if you think Mario Barrios was a real champion, how come Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division? Do you know what undisputed champion means? It means that he has all of the major titles in the division. So if Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion, right there you know that Tank title is fake. That's a fake title. The only reigning champion with a major title that Tank Davis beat in his whole career was Pedraza. This man about to be 30 years old ain't beat a single reigning champion in the 135 division when he fights. But it's Shakur who's not ready, the guy who beat two reigning champions in the 135 division. I don't know. Y'all make it make sense. I'm only talking facts. I'm only talking facts. You see, oh, look at that logic. It's not a fake title because he's paying sanctioning fees. So I can make up a box center title, and if somebody pays sanctioning fees, that's it. It's a legit title. Look at your logic. Look at your logic. It's a real title because he's paying fees. Josh Taylor's the undisputed champion. Undisputed. Like, do we really need to go into what does undisputed means? You need to find out what undisputed means. You need to find out why that secondary title doesn't exist anymore. You really gonna sit there and try to defend a title that don't even exist, that the sanctioning body did away with because they knew it was a fake title, and that's what you're gonna argue about? Come on, bro. Come on. You're gonna just take a L on that one. A fake title. That's a fake title that they made up so that Tank fans can believe that he was a three-division champion. And they got you. The PBC and Al Heyman bamboozled you. You hear me, NYC Alex? They got you fooled. They bamboozled you. They really got you believing that's a real title. You out here like, nah, it's real because he paid fees. And Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion at the same time. You must not know what undisputed actually means. Look it up. What do you think undisputed means? Oh man, yo, they be getting y'all with them fake titles, man. That's why boxing needs somebody like me to set y'all straight, to let y'all know what's really going on. Cause sometimes yo, y'all be clueless, talking about Tank was a champion because they charged him fees. Really? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. They got you bamboozled, my people. At 135, here's the question. A man with a faith in Christ. At 135, in the 135 division, what reigning champion did Tank beat? Just tell me. And in the 140 division, he got that Mickey Mouse belt and didn't even defend it once. He went right back down to 135. They got that fake title so that NYC Alex and other fans could believe that he was a real champion in that division. Al Heyman and the PVC bamboozled all they fans with that fake title. That's sad, man. That's real sad. But hold on. You talking about, stop talking about the resume. When you got somebody talking about he's a champion at 140, that he was a legit champion at 140 over a fake secondary title, that has to be addressed. How do you have an undisputed champion in the division and y'all believe he was a real champion with a secondary title? Like, yo, NYC Alex, do me a favor, put it on right there. Tell me what you think undisputed means. Help me out. You tell me what undisputed means because Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division, and Mario Barrios had a secondary title. You tell me what you think undisputed means. So you're right, styles make fights. I have to rock with you on that. But if you want to go with styles make fights, then let me give you some examples to consider. Sugar Ray Leonard, the boxer, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the puncher. What happened when the great boxer and the great puncher got together? The great boxer won. Fast forward, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Mike Tyson the puncher, Evander Holyfield the boxer. Who won between the great boxer and the great puncher? The great boxer. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you want to talk about styles make fights, historically, if we look at great boxers and great punchers who faced each other, the great boxers won more often than not. Great boxers beat great punchers all the time. Did you not see what just happened with Pitbull and El Rayo Valenzuela? I bet you NYC Alex was telling everybody that Pitbull was going to knock Rayo out. And what happened? You see? Because people see power and they think power is going to take everybody out. Then comes a great boxer and beat the shit out of the power puncher. What happened? What happened with Pitbull? Everybody was saying Pitbull was going to knock Rayo out. Now, while y'all was saying Pitbull was going to knock Rayo out, go look at the receipts. Go look at what I said. I told everybody. Number one, Rayo got the chance to beat Pitbull. And number two, if it goes the distance, he's going to outbox him. He's going to beat him. And that's exactly what happened. So while y'all sit there like, yo, he hit really hard. He hit really hard. Go look at the historical data and see what happens when the guy that hits really hard fights the guy who's a great boxer, who has the great defense. Go see what happens. And then we can see who's talking facts. Oh, bro, you telling me to say Shakur is gonna outbox him for 12 rounds? Look at the videos. I've been said that. I've been said that. So if you want to hear it, you can look at my old videos. But I'll say it for you now again. Shakur is going to outbox Tank for 12 rounds and win a unanimous decision. So there you have it, my boy. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Just like Rayo did it to Pitbull, Shakur. And this is what I want you to consider because I always base my opinion on facts. On facts. Yo, y'all watch Pitbull go 12 rounds with Tank. Block that uppercut. Almost every time it came his way, Pitbull blocked that uppercut. Boom! Obviously, he studied tape. Y'all really believe Pitbull Cruz went 12 rounds with Tank, but Shakur's not going to go 12 rounds. So Pitbull got better defense than Shakur. Pitbull can stay away from Tank's knockout power. Pitbull can stay away from Tank knockout punches, but Shakur won't be able to. Like, are we being for real? Are y'all ready to say that Pitbull got better defense than Shakur? Because if we look at the stats, Shakur is the most unhittable fighter in boxing today. The most untouchable fighter in boxing today. But Tank is just gonna knock him out. He didn't knock out Pitbull, but he's gonna knock out Shakur out, who has 10 times way better defense than Pitbull. How does that play out? How does that play out? How does Pitbull avoid getting knocked out by Tank, but Shakur won't be able to? Does that really make sense? That's it. You see? You See all that stuff that you talking about? All that stuff that you talking about, how he cannot outbox Tank. Look how easy. Look how easy I'm gonna debunk that stuff about how he cannot outbox Tank. Yo, Leo Santa Cruz was outboxing Tank before he got knocked out. He was actually winning on the cards. What are you talking about? Mario Barrios won a bunch of rounds against Tank. His own team told him, yo, you're behind on the cards before he got the stoppage. What are you talking about? Tank be losing rounds. People won rounds off of Tank. Tank be losing rounds. Shakur do not be losing rounds. You see the difference? Tank been Tank be losing rounds to all the guys that Tank be eating punches from dudes before he knock them out. Shakur don't get hit. You see the difference? So when you put a guy that get hit a lot versus a guy that don't get hit, or we know the results, y'all just can't accept it. But when the results come in, y'all going, damn, Jay was right. Jay told us. Jay told me. You're right. They never saw the 12, but Pitbull saw the 12 round, and he won a bunch of rounds against Tank, and he made it competitive versus Tank. So if Shakur Stevenson has a way better defense than Pitbull, why is he gonna get knocked out? The most unhittable fighter. Yo, look, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I want you to consider this, my peoples. In his career, Shakur is a multi-division champion. He's, under unified champion, and in his whole career, he's never been dropped. He's never been hurt. He's never even been wobbled. So I want you to think about that. You talking about his chin. Who tested Shakur's chin in his whole career? Nobody. Nobody even had the skills to test his chin. Why is Tank gonna do it? See? So you keep having this faith about how Tank is gonna knock him out, but my boy ain't even been wobbled in his whole career. Whole career ain't even been wobbled. So you see, there you go. You're saying I can't wait till Shakur lose, like he lost in the Olympics. What does that really mean? It just means that you're a Shakur hater, my guy. So once you become a Shakur hater or a hater of anybody, your opinions, they're pretty much useless because you don't use logic. You use your bias to have an opinion. Your opinion are based on bias. That's why you become a doctor, you become a promoter, you become a manager, you become everything just to hate on a fighter. Because that's it, you don't like them. Oh my gosh, Shakur ain't fighting nobody but cab drivers. And like, look, bro, let me tell you. And I say this in a respectful way, because me, like Alex, you already been on with me a few times and we go back and forth. But when you say that, my boy, and we don't know each other personally, right? We only know each other here on YouTube. But when you say that, that's when I know for a fact that you never boxed a day in your life. Your boxing knowledge is based on watching TV, watching YouTube, and watching social media. Nobody who has ever laced on a pair of gloves and competed will have your same point of view. So you got a boxer talking with somebody that watched TV, and that's why we see things so differently. No boxing analyst who used to box, no active fighter will say the same things that you're saying about Shakur. You can find loads of videos of fighters telling us that Shakur's one of the greatest of this era. The best fighters in the world, champions, are telling you that Shakur's one of the best of this era. Yet here you are talking about how Shakur's resume and he's fighting cab drivers. Imagine that, yo. How do you fight cab drivers and become a three division champion and unify titles in multiple divisions? All these cab drivers are winning titles? Really? So again, that's how I know that you never box a day in your life. Cab drivers don't win titles. Cab drivers don't fight in championship fights. But when you never box a day in your life, that's what you say. I mean, I understand that you don't like his style of boxing, but not liking his style of boxing, does that mean that you gotta hate on him? Does that mean that you always gotta hate and always be against him? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, oh, Bob Arum protecting the cash cow. Like, he not even with Bob Arum anymore. He left them people. And then, why would you say Bob Arum protected him when it's your favorite fighters who don't want to fight him? Huh? Why you don't say Al Heyman is protecting Tank? Al is protecting Tank. Tank about to be 30 years old, man. How you about to be 30 years old? You ain't face a single big name in your whole career. And you the A side. You the A side. You can fight whoever you want. But you fighting B level fighters who never won a title. How you doing that? How you doing that? Huh? Yo, since for my peoples who's out here saying, oh, Tank won all these titles, Tank did this and Tank did that. This is the funny thing about Tank Davis's resume. He fought Frank Martin. Frank Martin had never fought for a title. He got his first title shot versus Tank. He fought Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia never fought for a title before fighting Tank. That was his first title shot. He fought Pitbull Cruz. Pitbull Cruz never fought for a title. That was his first title shot. He fought Gamboa. Gamboa had never fought for a title in the 135 division. He fought Crawford at 130. So what is y'all really talking about? Tank fighting dudes who's making their debut for a title, who never fought for a title. That's the dudes that he's fighting. They bamboozling y'all, B. They bamboozling y'all. And the funny thing is, man, cause that's how I know when people are new boxing fans. They use that argument. He the cash cow. He the cash cow. Like, what the hell being the cash cow got to do with the fights? What the hell him being a cash cow got to do with you about to be 30 years old and you didn't fight the best at 130, you didn't fight the best at 135, and you didn't fight the best at 140. Tank has never fought any of the best in any of the divisions that he been on. Hate on that. Oh, you don't hate on that though. You say Shakur fighting cab drivers. Motherfuckers didn't even know Frank Martin just a few years ago. Who Tank fighting? Who Tank beating? Tank literally out there fighting guys who never fought for a title. He literally out there fighting guys who's making their championship fight debut against him. You see? Look, that's so you can see how you're a biased fan. Tank got no legacy fights, no huge win, and you're saying that he's at a career where he doesn't at a point in his career where he doesn't need it. So as a boxing fan, that's what's important to you? The money that the guy has? You don't care about who he fights? That's a true boxing. Look what true boxing fans have turned into. Y'all be pocket watching. You care about the money that Tank got, bro, he not gonna give you none of that money. You're not gonna get a paycheck off of Tank Davis money. So while Tank fans like he got a lot of money, he the A side. I'm not getting a check from that, my boy. I want to see him fight the big boys. You see? It's because of you that fighters like Tank don't fight nobody. You happy seeing him fight B-level fighters because he's the A side. You good with that. You ask other fighters to face the big boys, And they will say, well, Tank will fight whoever he want. He good. That's corny. That's mad corny, bro. Like, we really be saying, well, Tank will fight whoever he want, you know. He was pushing 30, beat no big names. He can fight whoever he want, though. What? Are we serious? You talking about boxing? It's a different era. You fans are making it a different era when you accept these whack ass fights, and you arguing about A side and arguing about who get paid more money. Them dudes ain't sending you a check. I don't care who get paid more money. I want to see the best fight each other. And Tank can fight none of the best. None of the best. And you give him a pass with that lame, pathetic excuse about how he the A side, he make a lot of money. Like he's sending you a check. He ain't gonna send you a check. Why you worrying about the money that he made? But that's what happens. You social media boxing fans, yo, the money conversations was started by the PBC, and the PBC fan base took along with that narrative. When you say, "Oh, but he ain't fight nobody," yeah, he ain't fight nobody, but he make a lot of money, and he the A side. Like that's a goofy ass argument. I don't give a damn how much you're making. I want to see who you're fighting. How you sit there and tell me Shakur fighting cab drivers, but Tank don't need to fight nobody because he making money? You don't make no sense, my guy. You see, you're right. Shakur ain't fight the best. But the problem is that we seen the best turn down Shakur. We seen Pitbull Cruz and his team say we don't want to fight Shakur. We see Rolly say, oh, we don't want to fight Shakur. He's boring. Why? Because you fans fell for that narrative. Now every fighter, every big name fighter can say, oh, Shakur's boring. I don't want to fight him. Everybody ducking Shakur. What is you talking about? Meanwhile, Tank Davis, Keyshawn Davis is dying to fight him. Shakur Stevenson dying to fight him. Teofimo Lopez dying to fight him. Everybody, all the big dogs want Tank badly. But Al Heyman is protecting him. And they got him fighting B-level guys and telling you fans, oh, well, you know, he's the A side and he's making a lot of money. And he don't need to fight nobody because he's making this dude pushing 30 years old ain't fight nobody. Y'all gotta stop playing games. Y'all gotta stop playing games, man. Bro, I'm not using the money to prove my point because I'm not using how much money Terrence Crawford made. You, yo, you goofy as hell using how much money a fighter made because that fight is not giving you any money. Why you worry about his money? Why PBC fans be pocket watching? I'm bringing up money to say, yo, he's asking for the most money he ever made. That shows the danger that Terrence Crawford is. That's not pocket watching, my boy. I'm talking facts. You not talking facts. You talking fanboy stuff. He make a lot of money. He don't need to fight nobody. He the A side. Like what? Why do you even care the money that he making? I care about the money Canelo is asking for because it proves how important of a fight Terrence Crawford is to ask $150 million. What are you proving by saying he's the A side? He don't need Shakur and he don't need nobody. Like what are you proving? You just proving that you're giving out fanboy logic. This nigga said what Shakur brings to the table. You know, what Shakur brings to the table is an undefeated champion, a three division champion, and a unified champion. Because remember, history books does not record opinions. They're not gonna record your opinion. They're gonna record how many titles he won, how many divisions he won titles in. Tank Davis does not have a single person in his resume that has the type of resume Shakur has. So that's what Shakur brings to the table. The biggest win of your career because you don't have a win like that. You don't have a single reigning champion in the same division that you're fighting in. That's what Shakur brings to the table. and also a career payday. Because if you fight Shakur, you're gonna get the most money you ever had. What does Shakur bring to the table? That's a fanboy question, my guy. That's a super fanboy question. What are you talking about? What he bring to the table? An undefeated reigning champion. You don't even gotta ask that. What he bring to the table? Oh my God. Again, you talking about money. That's what I'm telling you, man. PBC fans, all y'all talk about is money. Tank is not gonna send you a check. He's not gonna send you a check. Look, you're saying that Shakur is not worthy of it. Pitbull was worthy of it. Gamboa, 40-year-old Gamboa was worthy of it. Mario Barrios was worthy of it. Go ahead and tell me what Mario Barrios brought to the table with his secondary title. What did Mario Barrios bring to the table? Huh? Mario Barrios brought more than Shakur to the table? Right now, listening to this, you must sound goofy as fuck. Shakur has two titles. What are you talking about? He brought a secondary title that only fooled you PBC fans to believing is real. You keep forgetting that Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division. So Mario Barrios brought a secondary title, but Shakur's not bringing his real titles? Is that what you telling me? Yo, look how easy, bro, it is to debunk your logic. You just said that Mario Barrios brought the title, brought a secondary title. How much boxing do you know? Look, Alex, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Do me a favor and tell me, what does undisputed champion mean to you? Let's talk about facts. You wanna talk about facts? Go ahead. Tell me, what does undisputed champion mean to you? Because Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division. I don't know who told you that you could make history with a secondary title, but you can't make history with a secondary title, my friend. The title doesn't even exist anymore. Google it. The WBO removed that secondary title. You sound goofy as fuck talking about making history with a title that don't even exist anymore. That's why I keep asking you, what does undisputed mean to you? And you can't even say it. A fighter who holds all four major championship belts, but the WBC made the franchise belt and the interim champions, he did though. So, if Josh Taylor is the undisputed champion, he holds all four major titles. If you're aware of this, how are you even falling for the secondary titles? The franchise belt does not exist anymore. Nobody has a franchise belt. They didn't even have a franchise belt for every division. The secondary title that Tank had at the 140 division, that shit doesn't even exist anymore. And you talking about that? Look at your argument. Well, the title must be real because Tank paid sanctioning fees. Yo, it's like anybody can just make a strap, and if they pay fees, it's a real strap. Look how you sound. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're arguing. It's a real title because he pays sanctioning fees. Like, that only makes it legit in your head. When somebody's an undisputed champion in the division, means he's the champion. He's the guy. He's the one in the division. He's the only champion in the division. That's what undisputed means. Go to the dictionary. All them other titles, only PBC fans and Tank fans believe they real. They not. They don't even exist anymore. Paying sanctioning fees don't make it real. It only makes it real in your head. That's right. You see? It's good enough for you. The problem is that it's good enough for you, but you don't know shit about boxing. It's not good enough for fighters. It's not good enough for boxing analysts. It's not good enough for people who work in boxing that will tell you that's a fake title. But you watch boxing on YouTube and on TV, to you is good enough. You said it, my boy. Secondary titles are good enough to you. That shit don't even exist anymore and you here talking about it. So the bottom line is Tank Davis, pushing 30 years old, and chose not to fight a single big name in his career. That's crazy. That's how they bamboozled you fans. And let me tell you something. All this stuff that I'm talking about, all you have to do is look at the logic behind it. How do you have an undisputed champion in the 140 division and say, yeah, he's undisputed, but Tank is a champion too because he paying a sanctioning fee. He a champion too. No, buddy, that's not how undisputed works. I'm going to prove to you that a secondary title is fake right now, easily. Look how easy it is to prove that a secondary title is fake. Did you know when you have a secondary title, you don't get mandatories? When you have a secondary title, Tank had that shit for over 2 years. Not a single mandatory. You don't even know that the reason they got that secondary title is so that they don't have no mandatories. Tank will fight whoever he wants. Nobody will ever strip that mandatory title because that mandatory title don't mean shit. If Look how easy it is. If I have the main title and you have the secondary title, you get a shot at my real title. You have an opportunity to take it from me. Tank never tried to get the real title. Devin Haney had the real titles. Teofimo Lopez had the real titles. Tank never tried to fight any of them. He was happy with his little secondary title that you don't get mandatories for. So yeah, it's a fake title. It got you bamboozled, but the facts show number one, you don't get mandatory. Number two, that title doesn't exist anymore. And number three, for you to say, well, he paid a sanctioning fees, that make it legit to me. That just shows that you on denial. Fake ass title. Look at that. We talking about Tank's fake titles and you bringing up Crawford and Shakur. Yo, Crawford got real titles. And he became undisputed by beating the shit out of one of your heroes. Shakur got real titles in multiple divisions, unified real titles. So there you have it, man. We could compare all we want, but these guys got real titles. Tank got fake titles. You can't get around that. There's no getting around that. Can't do it. There's no way to do it. The hell is this? So something real quick, because I said we already know Tank got fake titles and he got y'all bamboozled with those. Some real quick. I seen the other day that next you're gonna say Canelo's not a true champion at 168. You see, that's the difference between me and you, my guy. I talk facts. You make up stuff in your head to fit your narrative. I'm not a hater. I know that Canelo is a legit champion. Canelo's been a legit champion in every division he has been in. That's the difference between me and you, my boy. You need to discredit other fighters to uplift yours. I don't discredit fighters to uplift another fighter. Canelo's been a legit champion in every division he fought, and Canelo's one of the greatest fighters of this era. Canelo's one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. That's the difference between me and you, my guy. I don't need to discredit nobody. I leave that to y'all. You discredit Shakur, you discredit Crawford, and you discredit every fighter you don't like. That's what fans do. You give credit to fighters for fake titles and secondary belts, and then you discredit fighters who got real titles and real belts. That's what you do. That's why when you're a hater, it's too easy to break and debunk all of your logic because you don't go with facts. You make up your own logic so you can hate. No discrediting over here, my boy. Canelo is the truth. And he's been the truth since. So, I'm sorry to disappoint you, my guy, but I don't do the hating. I talk the facts. And then if you don't like the facts, you say, oh, that's hating, that's hating. Well, go look at it. Besides Mario Barrios, Tank has won a vacant title in the 135 division. Vacant, meaning nobody had that title, and they matched him up versus washed up Gamboa. He beat damn near 40-year-old Gamboa for that title, for a vacant title. By the way, Gamboa has never been a champion, never won a title. Yet that's the guy that Tank beat for his secondary title in the 135 division. A secondary title he never has to defend. That's how they got you fooled with the secondary titles. Like everybody coming up, every hungry fighter is trying to go for the real title. Nobody wants a secondary title. So what Tank does, with no mandatories ever, he can pick and choose whoever he want to fight. And all he fights is guys who never fought for a title. That's a fact. That's a fact. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, Pitbull Cruz, Frank the Ghost Martin, none of them ever fought for a title before they fought Tank. Ever. Zero championship fight experience. Those are the people that Tank love to fight. Look at the resume. Zero championship fight experience. Pushing 30 years old, haven't fought a single reigning champion at the 135 division or at the 140 division. Hasn't fought any of the best in any of the divisions that he fought. And you want to hate on people who got real titles and look away from Tank. Like, nah, it's different with Tank. With Tank, your logic is that he could fight whoever he wants because he's the A side. Like that, to me, that's the worst thing that somebody can say. No, he can fight whoever he wants because he's the A side. Like, what the fuck you mean he can fight whoever he wants? Don't we want fighters to fight the best? The same people that'll sit there and say Crawford needs to fight Boots. Those same people will say, well, Tank can fight whoever he wants because he's the A side. You want to see Crawford fight the best. You want to see Canelo fight Benavidez. But you want to see Tank keep fighting flat-footed Mexicans. Really? And you don't see how biased you being? Y'all gotta stop the bias, my people. Boxing fans have to ask fighters to fight the best. All of them. By the way, my peoples, you already know what it is, man. Box Center. Your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Um, by the way, next weekend I'm gonna be at an amateur boxing tournament, elite level amateur boxers, and I'm gonna be at the neutral corner. You know, I'm gonna be giving y'all the behind the scenes footage from when they get ready for their fights and all that stuff. So that's gonna be some crazy content. If you ever watch amateur boxing and you see how those hungry kids get down, you want to see this. It's going to be a good one. It's actually going to be the finals of that tournament. So in the finals, you already know the very best who made it to the finals, who already won multiple fights to get there. They're going to be going at it. You say me, neutral, never. Would I say I'm neutral? I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm neutral because as as folks who watch the sport, we all have fighters that we like. But I never said that I was neutral. I said that I'm not biased like you. If I gotta give credit to a fighter, I give him credit. Notice that I did say Canelo is one of the greatest of this era, and all of his titles are legit. While you sitting here talking about, oh, Shakur only fight cab drivers, like, how the hell you become a three-division champion and a multi-division unified champion by fighting cab drivers? Where are all these cab drivers getting titles from? Since when? Who told you that cab drivers be earning titles? Imagine that. Oscar Valdez was an undefeated champion when Shakur made it look easy. After Shakur beat him, Oscar Valdez went on and won another title before losing it. Now Oscar Valdez is a cab driver. So I'm gonna tell you something. Either Oscar Valdez is a cab driver or you don't know shit about boxing. One of the two. Now go look at Oscar Valdez's resume and tell me how he a cab driver. Come on, man. Come on, man. You say you don't like them, but you give them their dues? When did you give Crawford his dues? When did you give Shakur his dues? I never see you do it. All you do is hate on them guys. All you literally just told me, yo, I hope Shakur loses. Like, what? I don't like him. Oh, now Oscar Valdez is the only good name. You see? First, it was all cab drivers. Now I give you a name. Oh no, that's the only good name that he has. That's a reigning champion. That's a reigning champion. Holding a legit title. See? You said Crawford the best at 147. He the king. Yo, you don't need to say that. Crawford was undisputed in the division. You don't need to tell us what we already know about Crawford. And you only say that when you get pressed. Before you get pressed, all you talk about is excuses. And the funny thing about you and fans like you is that you will send a paragraph this size about the excuses. Excuses, excuses, excuses. And when you get pressed, one line, oh yeah, I admitted that Crawford is the best. I admitted it. That's all you got, one little line. I admit it, he's the best. But then you got a million excuses behind that. You know you giving him his credit when you stop with the fake excuses and you actually just give him credit and say, yo, he's the best. He beat Arrow because he's the best. You never said that. All you say, Arrow was different, and the accident that didn't cause serious injury, the accident that didn't break a single bone, it affected him 3 years later. That's all you got to say. So you still hating on Crawford. You still can't give him his flowers without hating and bringing up stuff that is irrelevant. Y'all gotta stop that. You see? And over the hill Spence. The funny thing about that is that Crawford is a year older than Spence. You see how hater logic is so easy to debunk? Over the hill Spence and Crawford is older than him. Imagine that. That's what shows you. You do not know how to give full credit to Crawford. You have to take it away. You have to diminish it by saying that Errol wasn't in good shape, Errol was over the hill, the accident, the eye, you know. A guy that you only see on TV and on YouTube, you decided that you know his physical condition. You decided that you know his mental condition. Imagine that. And then you out here calling an accident tragic because it sounds like you almost don't know what the word tragic means. Do I need to Google it for you? So I could Google it. Look, I'm going to do you a favor, my guy. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to Google the word tragic for you. Because, you know, You've been calling you've been calling aerospace accident tragic, which is actually hilarious. So I'm gonna invite you. I'm gonna invite you to Google the word tragic, so you can see the examples that they make. The first example that they make: the shooting was a tragic accident. You see, they call it a tragic accident because somebody got shot and killed. That's what made it a tragic accident. So here's another one. Tragic cause sadness usually because someone has died. So Errol Spence was in a tragic accident. Tragic? Yo, tragic is the word that you have to use to diminish Crawford. He was not involved in a tragic accident. Not a single person died. Not a single person, not a single person suffered bodily harm. Nobody's limbs were dismembered. Nobody, nobody was hurt in a way that they landed in a wheelchair. Nobody was incapacitated. The only thing tragic about that accident is how fans keep milking it as an excuse. That's tragic. That's tragic. It's the real tragedy is how you making this accident tragic when there was no serious injury. Go, I get it, man. You just don't understand what the word tragic means. So you think it was a tragic accident because the car, looked really bad. But tragedy actually means bodily harm. Somebody died. There's a funeral. There's people in the hospital watching somebody dying. It's not a tragedy, my boy, if you didn't break a single bone in your body or suffer a single serious injury. Errol didn't even suffer a single life-threatening injury. He lost teeth, and you out here calling it a tragedy. Bro, you're making a fool out of yourself. When you say Errol was in a tragic accident, you're making a fool out of yourself. Calling that accident a tragedy, you're making a fool out of yourself. You're making yourself look like a fanboy. You're making yourself look delusional. You're making yourself look like a Crawford hater. Like, you are probably one of the only people I've seen call that accident a tragedy. Like, how do you, like, I don't know if you're trolling. Like, I feel like, nah, man, this nigga gotta be trolling. He can't believe that it was a tragedy when nobody was really hurt. Like, what is you talking about? Unless you just don't know what a tragedy means. Hold on, man. Hold on. Now, who told you that you being in the hospital makes it a tragedy? Who told you that? Can you find a definition that suggests without serious injuries or tragedy if you're in the hospital? Can you find me a definition? Like, who? Are you making up your own definitions now? Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you. Like I said before, you make up your own stuff in your head. I look for facts, right? You're saying that Errol was in the ICU for 2 weeks. Let me fact check you on that. Let me see if he was really in the ICU for 2 weeks, like you're saying. How long how long Arrow in ICU after crash? Let me show you something. You see what I'm trying to tell you? You said that he was in the ICU for 2 weeks. 2 weeks! He was in the hospital for 6 days. Errol Spence was in the hospital for 6 days. And inside your head, you made it 2 weeks. Bro, when you talk with somebody like me and you say lies and you make up stuff in your head, I'm the type of person to debunk them. I'm not the one that you just make up stuff with and I let it slide. How you gonna say he was in the ICU for 2 weeks? Where the hell did you make up those 2 weeks from? Who told you that? Nobody told you that. You made it up. You made that up just to hate on Crawford. You be adding to Errol Spence's injury just to hate on Crawford. My boy said Errol was in the hospital, in the ICU for 2 weeks. He was in the hospital for 6 days. And guess what? Part of the reason he was there for those 6 days is because when you break teeth, it's not just pull them out. They actually have to do a little surgery to remove the bone chips and all that stuff from your broken teeth. 6 days in the hospital. Where did you get the 2 weeks? Where the hell did you get 2 weeks in the ICU? Where? No, no, no. You, the doctor, talking about he was in the hospital for 2 weeks in the ICU. Where did you get that from? Where did you get these 2 weeks from? Did you just make them up right now in your head? Because I've been following this case since he crashed, and I never saw anywhere where they say he was in the ICU for 2 weeks. Where did you see it? Enlighten me. Because I Googled it right now, and it shows Errol Spence was in the hospital for 6 days. Where do you get this ICU for 2 weeks? We making stuff up now? So, that's what boxing fans do. In order to hate on Crawford, you have to make stuff up. You have to make stuff up about how Errol was in the ICU for 2 weeks when that's a lie. That's not true. Why do you make stuff up? That's the true definition of a hater. When you can't hate, you make stuff up so that you can continue to hate. So, let me know, where did you get this 2 weeks in the ICU from? 'Cause I never seen it. You calling me the doctor? You the doctor. You the one telling me about the trauma. You the one telling me, bro, he got ejected from the seat. Like, obviously you're not aware that there's people who've been ejected from their seat and didn't even twist an ankle. But go, but go ahead, Dr. Alex. Tell me where you got these 2 weeks from. 2 weeks in the ICU. See? Once you, that's how you know that you're a hater. First, you make up lies. Once you get caught in those lies, you go quiet. You got no choice but to go quiet. What are you doing right now? Googling, trying to figure out another lie that you can say? So there you have it, my peoples. Errol spent 6 days in the hospital. Didn't break a single bone in his body. Didn't suffer nerve damage, neurological damage. But somehow, years down the line, when he fought Crawford, the accident came back. And them 2 imaginary weeks at the ICU came back. Come on, my peoples. This is Box Center. This is where you're gonna get boxing knowledge based on facts. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, my peoples, because I'm the one that's gonna give you the real facts. Not the fanboy stuff, not the bias stuff, not the I make up stuff inside my head and I say it like they're facts. Come on, Alex, talk to me. You done already told me about the tragedy that was Errol Spence's accident that kept him in the ICU for 2 weeks. Like, what are we talking about, bro? You don't want to talk no more after you made up 2 weeks in the ICU? So there you go, my guy. You yourself proved that you're biased, that you're a Crawford hater, and that you will go as far as making up stuff. You'll go as far as lying about Errol Spence. You will lie and say that he was in the ICU for 2 weeks just to discredit Crawford, just to take away from his greatness. And that's not gonna work. That works when you're talking amongst other Errol Spence fans and other PBC fans who gonna agree with you. And y'all don't do no fact checking. Y'all just make stuff up. Don't make stuff up here in Box Center, my boy, because I will fact check you. And I will show you that you lying. I will show you that you making stuff up. People will jump on this live and make stuff up on the spot just to make an argument. Bro, I'm not the person you want to make stuff up with because I will fact check you. I fact check myself. That's why when I make an argument, it's based on facts. It's very hard to dispute my arguments. You can have a different opinion, that's okay. If I think Bud is going to beat Canelo and you think Canelo is going to beat Bud, I'm okay with that because Canelo's a great fighter. I don't need to try to discredit him. You know, the same way that y'all discredit Terrence Crawford and y'all discredit Shakur, I don't need to discredit Canelo. He's a great fighter. If you think he's going to beat Crawford, I respect that opinion. But unfortunately, Canelo fans, they don't just have an opinion. They lie. They make stuff up. They make up fake narratives. I don't need to make up a fake narrative about a fighter. I don't need to discredit this fighter to uplift this other fighter. Why? Ain't no need for that. Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter. Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. And if they fight, we'll find out. I don't need to knock nobody. I don't need to say Errol Spence was in the ICU for 2 weeks when that actually never happened. 2 weeks is 14 days. How do you turn a 6-day hospital stay to 2 weeks in the ICU? How the hell did you even come up with that? Like, that's real creative. Like, that's another level of hate. Like, the 2 weeks in the ICU, did you make that up right now on the spot? Or is that something PBC fans been floating around in PBC social media boxing groups where y'all get together, y'all just make stuff up without fact checking anybody? Don't do it on Box Center, my people. If you come to Box Center and you make stuff up that is not true, I'm going to let you know. Look at Alex. I fact checked him, showed him that he lying, and now he's calling me a doctor. Oh, no, you a doctor. But bro, you was a doctor just a few minutes ago, talking about Spence is over the hill, Spence is not the same, the accident did this and that to him. You was being a doctor. All I did was fact check you. All I did was show you that Spence was not in no ICU for no 2 weeks. That's a fact. You calling me a doctor for telling you the facts? Come on, my boy. Augustine Villanueva. What's good, my brother? Thank you for hopping on. You know, we talking boxing over here, my boy. If you enjoy boxing, trust me, you want to subscribe to Box Center. You know, this right here, we talk real boxing, no fanboy stuff, no, bias, no making up stuff, none of that. So, Agustín, yo sí hablo español, pero este en vivo es en inglés. Algunas veces yo lo hago en español, pero en este caso es en inglés. So there ain't no bias going on, my peoples. You know what I'm saying? Any opinion that I'm gonna give you is fact based. You could disagree with me, and it's okay if you disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? But I have an opinion based on facts. I don't make up stuff in my head. I don't assume stuff. I use facts to formulate my opinion. Nah, I'm not Boricua. I'm Dominican. I actually live in the Dominican Republic. Um, so yeah, my people, that's why, my opinions, you know, they're gonna be solid. You don't have to agree with me, but it's gonna be solid because I'm holding on to facts to make those opinions. They said my favorite movie is Brokeback Mountain. Is that true? So you really go into a live where they talking about boxing, and that's what you ask. So I'll answer your question with another question. Is it true that you have a very, very low level IQ and you're bound to ask dumb questions? Is that true? Chances are it is. So, go on with that corny shit. We can ignore you, or you can go to another somebody else's live to take that corny shit that you on. I don't got time for you, buddy. Um, but yeah, my peoples, listen. In boxing, there's always going to be bias. There's always going to be people who, side with one fighter, and all they're gonna do is discredit another fighter. I don't need to discredit a fighter to uplift another fighter. Just because I'm saying Terrence Crawford, I believe, can beat Canelo, that doesn't mean that I have to discredit Canelo or discredit his resume. I'll sit here and tell you, yo, Canelo is a great fighter, and Canelo's one of the best of this era. You already know, my peoples, Box Center. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for some real boxing take. I also create a lot of videos which you can see I'm giving you the real deal Holyfield. No fanboy stuff going on over here. I'm not, here to discredit fighters or make stuff up. I speak based on facts. Right now, Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world. We still see how Errol Spence fans will not give him his credit. Errol Spence fans are clinging on to that accident for dear life. I just had somebody tell me that Errol Spence was in the ICU for 2 weeks. That never happened. That was literally fake news. So that's how you see the level of hate that Crawford has to deal with when fans even make stuff up that never happened just to discredit his win. Make stuff up. You know, my boy Alex talking about Errol was involved in a tragic accident. If anybody hear a tragic accident, they're gonna think, damn, somebody was killed in that accident. Somebody lost a leg in that accident. Errol lost an arm in that accident. Then when you find out what are the injuries that took place, oh now Errol lost some teeth. That's the injury right there. It's like, where the hell's the tragedy? What tragedy is he talking about? But, that's what happens. When you don't like Crawford, you're going to do anything to discredit him, including make up lies about Aaron being unconscious for 2 weeks in the ICU, which never happened. Never happened. So, what are we really talking about here? Come to Box Center, learn the facts, and let's debate based on the facts. I don't debate based on I like this guy better, so I'm gonna make stuff up about this guy, and I'm gonna make stuff up about that guy. My peoples, I fact check. That's what I do. I go about the facts. So as soon as you try to claim something that I'm not aware of, I'm gonna grab this tablet and I'm gonna Google the facts. And I'm gonna read those facts out to you. That's why my boy who was saying the arrow was in the ICU for 2 weeks, my boy haven't said a word since I fact checked him. What happened at it? You ain't got nothing else to say after you got caught lying about Arrow being in the ICU for 2 weeks? I'm still trying to figure out, did you hear that from another Errol Spence fans? Or did you just make it up on the spot during this live? My boy said, damn, I got caught in a lie. I'm not even going to talk no more. JSmiff is too slick with it. That's what I'm telling you, my peoples. When you go in little boxing groups on Facebook and whatever social media, people just make stuff up all day long. Say whatever you want to say. When you go in a live with somebody that's responding to you, you got to make sure you know what you're talking about. Because at any given moment, especially me, I'm going to fact check you. Because if I've been following boxing for so long and I'm following up on these situations closely, I know what's going on. When you tell me something that I never heard happen, automatically I'm going to say, well, let me Google that shit. Because I never seen nobody say that actually happened. I never saw nobody say that Errol Spence was in the ICU for 2 weeks. Where the hell did this dude get that from? Who told you this? Who told you this, Alex? Tell me. You went quiet and everything, man. You don't want to talk no more because you got caught lying. Because either you a liar who hate Bud so much that you will lie about Errol Spence being in the ICU for 2 weeks, or somebody lied to you and you didn't even check to see if it was real. You didn't even check to see if it was true. It's just a lie that you love. You love to believe that Errol was in the ICU for 2 weeks. Because that's a good way to hate on Crawford. So it's a good lie. You're not even going to fact check it. You're going to say it to other people. Yo, how many people have you told that lie to? About Spence being in the ICU for 2 weeks. How many people you told that lie to? Go back to all of them and tell them, yo, that was a lie, man. JSmiff caught me lying and set me straight. So y'all already know, man. Don't come to Box Center with the lies, because I will fact check you. And then you're going to end up like my boy Alex, that you can't even respond no more. Disconnecting from the live. Unsubscribing from my channel and all that, because you got caught lying. Don't get caught lying, my people. Don't get caught lying just because you want to hate. If you want to hate, just do this, man. Follow the fighter and hate on things that actually happen. You don't like the clothes he's wearing, hate on that. Be like, look, his clothes look funny. You don't like the guy that he beat, hate on that. No, I don't like the guy he beat. But when you start fabricating stuff that never happened, that's a pathetic level of hate. That's a sad level of hate. Don't be pathetic. Don't be sad. So I'm going to drop off with that, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. Box Center. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Peace.